Welcome back, everybody. Digital Gate Studios production. We are at another Two Tamers Talk with your boys. How's it going, Jeff?
Going great. I had a great time. Guess what we had tonight?
Oh, locals.
We had locals.
We're back
I don't know.
Locals. We saw everybody again. Oh, warm the heart.
Someone told me it was only 2 weeks since our last locals, but I don't know if it was just like the perception or something, but it felt like it'd been so much longer.
I guess it's been 3 weeks because they skipped 2, so I guess 3. Yeah.
You know, with illnesses spreading around, with family stuff, with holidays, I get it. You know, I'm not putting anyone to blame, but it just feels good to be back. And we had such a great turnout. How many people do we have?
18.
18
people, just right out of the gate. I mean,
That's
and
awesome.
that was on probably like maybe 24 hours notice that it was guaranteed to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everyone was just like, we had so many people tonight that came up to us and was just like, we're back. Like,
We're
I'm
back.
so
Yeah, it
happy.
feels
Like
great.
I've been
Yeah, it feels great.
been waiting for this was a huge part, was a huge comment tonight. So we missed everyone. It was nice to see. And it was all the, we're still missing a couple faces, but
Of course.
18 was a great turnout tonight. It was great to kind of get everyone back in the same room, everyone get that energy going again, seeing those decks. And a lot of people brought the fire tonight.
Yeah. You know, I thought a lot more people were going to be, you know, like, at least I felt, you know, anyways, that I was going to have to be shaking off the rust.
Yeah.
You know, like kind of, I don't want to say getting back into it because I don't necessarily think I stepped away or anything, right? But, you know, like you said, everybody brought the heat. Everybody was bringing their A game. Everybody was trying out some new decks. Everybody was already thinking like BT11's around the corner.
Yeah.
A month is going to be here before you know it. And it's time to, like, you know, make a move and do something. Start testing these decks. Start perfecting strategies, etc. So
Yeah, I think we were both kind of caught off guard tonight because
I
brought a new deck that I built
Yeah.
with my green gotcha, and you brought your Melga, not Melga traditional,
not
but your
traditional
Melga
decks, but
toolbox.
my take on it doesn't mean it's better, but just like, you know, a toolbox, kind of enjoying the whole BT1 Garurumon Online a little bit more. And definitely, if you guys are watching this, those decks should either be posted by this point or posted very, very soon.
Yeah, they're coming up.
We
this
literally
week.
just
this
filmed
week.
them.
They're coming up. Yeah.
So, you know, you guys will have them soon. But I mean, like, we took advantage of this. We were like, let's test some decks that we've been working on so we can get these filmed, right?
Against people other than ourselves.
Yeah, you know, different play styles, different deck types, etc. So, no, man, it was a blast. I mean, how'd you do?
I went 500 tonight. I mean,
That's
one
good.
of the games was a loss against you because you know what my deck does because
It's an unfair advantage for
Yeah.
sure, you know, especially when we test all the time.
Tonight I noticed a lot because I was the scorekeeper because me and Joe were judges tonight. We did do all the logging of the games and stuff.
Yeah, you guys always do great running those events, so I'm glad for you guys.
Thank you. It was interesting tonight with all of it really screwed up a lot of the not the pairings but the rankings because
At the end, right?
so many 2-1s tonight.
Yeah.
All the way through, all 4 rounds was just a lot of 2-1s. So
You know, I it's bad that I'm saying this, but I guess I miss Bandai TCG Plus,
yeah,
right? Because the last 2 times we've had events using whatever website we've been using,
Challenge,
it seems like that ranking at the end has got screwed up
Gets
both
wonky,
times,
for
and
sure.
I don't know what it is that got screwed up. I would love to figure it out because I would like to actually know where I placed. I went 3-1.
yeah.
My only loss was to one of the gentlemen who tied for first at the very end, right? And it's like, all of a sudden I'm looking at the rankings and I'm like 7th or something, 6th. And I'm like, I only lost 1 round. Like,
yeah,
but-
TCG Plus bases it based on like, you know, strength of opponent. But Challenge does an interesting thing where it's just like if you win 2 and lose 1, then the points are weighted. They're weighted a lot differently. So
you know, and I don't come here to, you know, to like if I'm not 3rd, I'll never play this game again, you know, or whatever, right? So the rankings don't actually
I think
matter,
we're back
right?
to TCG Plus next week.
So, but
because they've done so many software updates, I mean, we could do a whole podcast on how bad that app is.
it's funny because like the most recent update that's came out, I just used it as a One Piece event the other day, and it was so hard, especially compared to what it used to be to find the event.
Yeah.
It's like, how did this get worse? But then there are other things that did
The
get a little
UI
bit...
looks prettier, but the
yeah.
searchability
It
looks worse.
Yeah, and then like when it comes to reporting, like there's an actual option for draws and like the whole win thing seemed like that was working better, which is cool, you know. But it's funny because I've been to shops where they don't want you to report on TCG Plus.
Oh,
right. Well,
the California ones.
Yeah. They'll be or either that or nobody else reports, so they're surprised when I report on the app.
Yeah,
and they're like, "Oh, I didn't know you could report on the app," or they'll say like, "Oh, normally we type it in," and it's like, "No, I reported it." You know what I'm saying? So, but it's interesting.
Yeah, I think some shops have just given up on the app almost altogether, even though the app kind of generates the prize support you get from Bandai based on your participants.
I think it's important to keep using that app, right? I think, unfortunately, it is, I don't want to say a necessary evil because it's not that, like, yes, they're trying to make it better.
Yeah.
Right? You know, like, they started from nothing, and the fact that we're here, they've gotten better and better, but, you know, just that whole search thing was so bad the other day. It was,
Well, I mean, it's necessary also in the fact that if you're playing in a store tournament and you want to qualify for regionals or nationals or whatever, Nats, then you have to use the app, right? If you want to get your username registered as that. So I mean, I had a blast at locals tonight. I was
so much
super
fun.
happy to see everyone. I mean, we still missed a couple faces, so if you didn't come tonight, come next week. We'll see you then. Miss you guys. We have another event in a couple weeks. Well,
we do.
In about a month.
About a month.
Yes, and we're going to mention it every week until we come up to it because I'm training for it. This is kind of like our Olympics, right? Like we got a big event coming up. It's going to be at Mox Valley Games. We mentioned it last week, and we're going to try and we want to see how big we can get this. We want to pack the house. We want to put tables outside because there's so many people, right?
In the winter.
Yeah, because the more people that show up, the bigger the prize support's going to be, and I want to see how big we can get that. But Mox Valley Games, slight error last week. I said Eugene, Oregon. It's Springfield, Oregon.
It's the same thing. I've been down there so many times. They're the same, whatever.
It's almost the same city. They're so close. It's, So they're like bordering cities. So, I mean, it doesn't change your drive time at all. But technically, their address is in Springfield, Oregon. But Mox Valley Games is doing a Ghost Omni prize tournament.
Yep.
So it's $40 entry. It's going to be on Sunday, February 19th at 12:30 p.m. So middle of the day. It's probably going to go late. Sure. It's probably going to be 8-9 rounds, if not more. I mean,
that many rounds, you think?
Well, they're going to do. I think they're going to do top cut.
So
we'll see how it goes.
Okay, interesting.
So very, very fun. I can't wait. Like we're training for this, like our life depends on it.
Yeah,
like we were talking about what decks we're gonna play, and how we're gonna get ready for it.
Well, not only that, it's a whole different meta.
Oh, yeah,
you know, we don't have
2 days into the next meta.
It's 2 days into BT11.
Yeah,
and it's gonna be legal, right?
Yep.
So now it's like, hey, not only do I have to have my BT10 prior decks updated to BT11, right? Like I have to get those cards, I have to test them, I have to fine tune ratios. You can theory craft all day on paper. Sometimes it don't mean a darn thing, right? Like when all of a sudden it's time to perform and you're like, wait a second, this card that I thought was going to be the game changer hasn't done anything for me, right?
Yeah.
So
the fun thing for me is to like look in Discord and obviously like underneath people's names you can see what they're doing.
Yeah.
And since they've announced this tournament, I've seen a lot of is playing Tabletop Simulator. Yeah, because they're getting ready. A lot of people are just gearing up, getting ready for this because it's only going to be 2 days into this new format.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're talking about stores that get pre-release stuff, you're talking about they're going to get it a week before. So they'll have the ability to get the cards. I mean, obviously we're a little vain in our cards.
Yeah.
I mean, if you looked at our deck profiles, you know.
Yeah.
We like the alt arts. We're fancy to the alt arts. So it'll give us like a week and a half if we get them when we normally get them to bling out the decks. We're definitely going to try and have that case opening for you guys.
I'm excited to do that video for sure.
A week before technical release. So we're going to make every best effort to get that case on the channel first because we're going to split a case and do another opening similar to EX3. So very, very, very excited. But Mox Valley Games, if you guys want to come out, hang out, meet us, play with us, we're going to be there all day.
I guess I'll sign autographs too if you want.
We signed an autograph tonight.
Yeah, we were right. We did sign an autograph tonight. Yeah.
It was kind of fun.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. All right. So, topic for this week.
Yes.
Talking about BT11.
Yeah.
And this is kind of a touchy topic in the fact that it's probably more touchy for our wives than ourselves.
Yeah,
the fact that we've had like 13 sets now total if you count the EX sets, where we've kind of it's been trial and error when it's like when a new set comes out, how much sealed product should you buy?
Yeah, that's a great point. Great question.
And I think that it varies a lot based on, are you a collector? Are you a player? And are you both? Because I put myself in the both category.
Yeah, no, we're definitely both of that at this point. Yeah.
Yeah, because I have my binder.
Yep.
Binders. Obviously, that'd be a huge binder if it was just one. But yeah, so I mean, but you play a lot more decks than I do. So you need to alt out more things than I do. So now,
this is where you have to add an additional category.
Yeah.
Are you a collector? Are you a player? Are you a content creator?
Ooh,
right.
Okay.
So,
are you a blinger?
Are you a blinger? Right. So now all of a sudden we're at the point where it's like, okay, before when we started doing this, right, when BT1 came out, we were in this scarcity mindset. You know how it is when you're in that scarcity mindset, like you just get to this point where you're like, you don't know what you're going to be able to find, so you kind of just grab whatever you can.
Yeah.
So like you were talking about, we had a lot of trial and errors from the very beginning of this game, especially like for me, I've never been this deep into a card game before. I've casually played card games. I've bought in singles before. Yeah. So it's like we didn't have this whole learning process of how much is too much, how much is not enough, what is the right amount, what is the smart thing to do, how do you build future decks? Because a lot of times we were just talking about this too, like we ordered some cards for a couple of our decks, and with the way the holidays have been, just mail has been so slow and backed up. And I even heard a rumor that my postmaster general, I guess, had some sort of illness or something where they're out of office. So apparently that slows down mail too, because they have a big important role. So like, obviously this is not a knock. Like I want every person, to do well, to be healthy, not never miss work if they don't want to or whatever, right? So it's nothing against them, but I know like my mail has been delayed. So I'm waiting on some stuff. Nothing that's like game changing in the world or whatever, right? But finding that balance between having things on the day of release when a product comes out, or like we're going to go to a tournament 2 days after the set drops, right? I at least need the bare minimum. I don't need to bling out my deck to go play in the first tournament, but I need to be able to get the cards I need for the staples of the deck, for the core.
Who are you kidding? You're going to want... No,
of course.
You're going to trade your soul to get those alt arts. I know you.
Oh, usually I'm real bad with pre-release cards too, because I love it when it's right there, right? But it's just one of those things, like, like I think I want to play Black War or Gray X during this event. I'm not sure yet. I'm still tinkering with some other things too, but that's kind of what I'm thinking I'm leaning towards, right? So how many of that new Tamer do I need for his deck, right? If I need a full 4 and I don't get it, and when we do our case split, what am I going to do? I got to trade for it, and if I have to overpay for somebody locally to have it that day, right, I might have to make that move because I won't have time to wait 2 days after the set when you can't even buy it on TCG Player until it posts, right? Like you can't. This says it's pre-sale.
It's very expensive,
and so that's also a good point too, right? So
pre-sales are stupid. Yeah,
when do you buy the cards you want to buy? A lot of times, as soon as the set comes out, price is at the peak, and then they kind of drop afterwards. There are some cards where certain cards will shoot up in value as the set goes on, but most of them generally drop after the first week. So I guess the original question you imposed, right? How much do you buy, like as a whole, right? As a collector, as a player, as a content creator, right?
Yeah.
So for us, like, we love opening product.
Oh yeah.
That's there's something about gambling that just fills that need, or that like that gotcha gimmick, that serotonin, that dopamine release.
Yeah.
When you open a pack and you see what kind of shiny cardboard you get, and it's like, yes, it's a surprise. Like obviously it is more fun to open 3-4 cases of any set than it is to buy something online and wait for it to get there.
Yeah. Especially
because, it's not like Amazon where you get it the next day.
Yeah.
Right. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying we need that. Right. But you got to have that balance. For us as content creators, we enjoy, let's get a whole case. Let's split it between us, so that way it's not like one person has all the burden or one person has too much bulk.
Well, we've learned that the hard way too, where
absolutely.
It's smarter for us to split a case and do a sealed case opening between the two of us, rather than we've done it the other way too, where you get a case and I get a case, and then we end up with a pile of bulk that
Yeah,
we're
and it's just
never
too much,
ever going to
and-
use. Yeah.
And then it just clutters up the house. It clutters, you just like run out of room to store it, and you end up giving a lot of it away, which is fine. I'm all for giving stuff away, don't get me wrong, but it's just like, man, sometimes you can't win. And thankfully, you and I never seem to want to play the exact same deck.
Yeah.
So that works out pretty well.
That's true, yeah.
And even when we had Joe on our EX3 opening,
Yeah.
he didn't want to play the exact same deck as us either.
Yeah.
Right. So having that, thankfully, not all of us want to play the same stuff. Definitely helps.
Yeah. You try and find that happy medium, right? I think that's kind of where I think over these last 13 sets, we've gone too far one way. We've gone not far enough the other way, where we have to end up buying more singles than anything. But I think what you were saying is right, where I think that if you're a collector, you're going to look at those ratios where you're going to get the 6 or 7 SRs, and it's really just that 2 drop in a normal set where you get those 2 alt arts, right? So at what point do those alt arts make it not worth the amount to buy the entire box?
Yeah.
And I think that there's I think it's 3 to 5 week. I would say 3 to 5 week wait time after a set. If you can be patient as a collector, wait the 3 to 5 weeks, and everything that is an SR or everything that is an alt art that is not something that is super playable,
absolutely,
will drop down to almost nothing. You can get it for $3 or $4 rather than have it be one of your 2 pulls in an $85 box.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think that it's a lot smarter if you're a collector, and it's something that I've learned the hard way, where I think I like 6 boxes. That's kind of where I'm at, because then I feel like 6 boxes is where you get your play set of your rares, your play set of, you're obviously going to get your play set of your commons and your uncommons in 6 boxes, but it's where you get your play set of your rares. And then that gives you, 12 slots of your SRs and your alt arts and stuff like that. And that's not counting EX sets, because EX sets are different.
Yeah.
But what I like to do, and I've been very guilty of this, is I'll do the 6 boxes, and obviously I buy 3 sealed, just to hold on to. I have 3 sealed of everything, just because I like to for the collection. But we didn't talk about this beforehand, but blisters. I love to buy blisters, because the blisters do not, they don't subscribe to any of the pre-programmed booster box, allocation. So I usually we'll split a case. I think that's kind of where our happy medium is.
Yeah,
we'll split a case.
Good. Yeah, it feels
6
good.
boxes each, and then if I'm at Fred Meyer, I'm anywhere, and I see blisters, I'll usually buy 4 or 5 blisters. Until I fill out the set, or until that 3 to 5 week mark hits, and then I can order the cards that I don't have yet in the alt arts. Because honestly, if you buy 6 boxes, you're gonna have one of at least every card except for the alt arts. So if you're a collector, then you're just missing those textured shiny cards, right? But you have a much better pull rate at hitting those in blisters than you do in buying boxes.
Yeah. And a lot of times too, you'll see on Facebook a lot of people who do open tons of cases for whether they have a shop, whether they're trying an online business, whether they're just getting into the hobby, whatever it is. And they open several cases, and then they sell playset bundles for pretty cheap. This game is relatively cheap, so that's good. And honestly, I'm going to say financially, if you really are a patient person, which is really hard to be in this instant gratification type of world, it probably is smarter to just buy singles.
Yeah.
If you're a collector, it's going to be way easier to buy one of each, and just do it that way. You're going to save tons of money. You don't have to worry about trash. You don't have to worry about getting a whole bunch of bulk that you're never going to get rid of. It's going to sit in a box in a closet somewhere or something like that. You don't have to worry about getting stuck up on it. But that's why I kind of brought up that whole what is that enjoyment that you feel when you open a pack?
Yeah, that's the extra gratification for sure.
Yeah, it's all of a sudden you're opening that pack, what could it be?
Yeah.
And for example, would have been worth it with the Ghost Alpha or the Ghost Omni, right? To only buy singles. When you have a chance to get that, in a case, right? Not a relatively bad price. And
this is the guy that actually pulled a Ghost Omni.
I did pull a Ghost Omni, yes. Yeah. But
I had to buy mine and my Ghost Alpha.
I had to buy my Ghost Alpha though, right? And it's that's one of those things that it was was it worth it to buy the case when the price of the case was the same as the one card when I could have bought singles? So I think I'm going to stick to that answer where it's probably financially better to buy singles, right? But then that comes to, what do you need right now to do something? So if a set drops and you're playing in a big tournament in Mox Valley, Springfield, Oregon for a Ghost Omni, right? You probably need to buy boxes, right? Because you're going to play in that event that day. You know, or if there's a Nats, regionals, whatever, where BT11 is legal, and it's 2 days after the set comes out, 3 days, whatever, a week after, you don't have time to wait for TCG Player. You don't have time to wait for eBay to get those cards that you need quickly. And a lot of times, too, when you buy those cards right away, they are, like you said, overpriced when they first get posted. So, you know, and like for me, like it's fun to take sealed boxes home and open them with my wife. You know, back when she was a little bit more into the game. So I'm going to have to talk to her and see if she wants to get boxes for this set, because it seems like she's been kind of drifting out. So maybe I won't, you know, that will help me reduce the bulk and reduce a little bit of the bulk.
Open them with me. I'll take her box.
Well, I mean, yes, no, I'll open them with you, but now it's just like buying less in general, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So it's always a fun balance for sure. And, you know, to me, it's always fun too when like the new set comes in at the shop and we're sitting there at the shop and we're opening the boxes there or whatever. We're like getting excited about it. And then to watch every person come in and buy a box or two.
Yeah.
And then like, oh, what'd you get? Oh, what'd you get? Oh, what'd you get? What are you looking for? Do you want to make trades? So
yeah,
to me, like, yes, financially, in an isolated world, in a vacuum, probably better just buy singles a couple weeks after the price goes down.
Yeah.
That's the collector side. Yeah. If you're a player, it's probably better to buy a box or two and then use that trade fodder to help you make the trades to make the decks that you need.
That's if you're only playing one deck.
That's if you're only playing one deck.
Yeah.
Because, you know, 1 or 2 boxes, you should be able to get everything you need, or trade value wise to make those trades to get, you know, just the base art card for the deck that you're playing.
Yeah, another big thing too to factor in is it a BT set or is it an EX set? Because the EX
That's a great
sets,
point.
a lot of the EX sets, so we've had 2 so far. 3.
Yep, three.
3. The EX sets have very how do I say it? Like the very like concentrated sets that are based just in those. Like we had like D Reaper, we had, you know, like a couple of sets where it's just like the base cards are just in that box.
Yeah,
you know
like,
what I mean?
Like back then, Gallimon, you built your entire Gallimon deck out of that core.
Yes.
The Azelmon, you built it all out of EX2, right?
Yeah.
You know, so I know what you're saying. Where it's like,
so you buy more of those. Like if you're a player and you want to play that, then you buy at least 2 or 3 boxes. So you at least get your play sets of the rares and you actually. But the EX sets also have a different pull rate than the BT boxes.
Yes, and
you
there's
get
more alt arts, right?
That's what I mean. Yeah, very, very good.
No, so I mean that's tough too, because I remember, you know, when we were first starting this channel, one of our first experiments was buying that EX1 case at a discount, see what the pull rates were, have a fun case opening video, talking about alt arts that we pulled there. It's like, yes, you pulled so many alt arts because there's more alt arts in the EX set, but not a lot of them were great.
The value,
not a lot of them had trade value, etc. So that's such an interesting point. I think it's important that you just kind of look at your need.
Yeah.
You know, you look at your need and you go, okay, well, you know what? I am absolutely 110% all in on Black or Gray X. I want to play it the moment the set comes out. I might need to buy 4 boxes just to get all this stuff so I can play it day one.
Yeah.
Whereas you're like, oh, I got these old BT10 decks I can play until prices drop, or I make trades for older stuff, you know? So identify your need first for sure.
Yeah. Well, there's your info. Like if you're going to buy sets, we got one coming up in about 5 weeks.
Pretty excited for that.
And we're going to split a case for sure. We're going to put it on the channel. We're going to do a big opening. And I guarantee you this guy's going to buy more than just that case. He always does. We buy the case and then we just need more. Like we
just can't get
what
that
happens
fix of
is we buy the
dopamine,
case,
you
we
know?
open it here, and then we go to the shop and there's people opening boxes and we're like, well, we want to open boxes next to you.
And we want to hang out.
Yeah, we want to
trade.
Yeah. That's my favorite time, is honestly like when a new set drops and everyone has that gleam in their eye and they know what they want to pull out of the set, because that's the best part about this game, and the fact that Japan spoils it for us ahead of time, where we already know 2 or 3 sets ahead what we want out of these sets when they come out. So It's great when you actually get to pull it. Great examples EX3 when I got all those Chaos Dramons.
Yeah, you were like, that's exactly what I wanted.
Hit every single one that I needed. It was like,
yeah.
The clouds had parted. It was great. So that is what you should buy, I guess. I don't know. That's what we buy, and we recommend for you guys. So as far as recommendations go, let's get into cards of the week.
Okay.
I think I'm going first. You went first last week.
I could never keep track.
I think so.
Yeah.
So my card of the week is going to be, I'm going to go off of yours because you did that weird thing where you're like, I just pick all the memory boosts. Okay, cool. So you got to cheat that week. So I'm going to cheat this week.
Yeah.
So my cheat this week is going to be Dino Rexmon. But
okay,
I'm going to pick both of them.
I was just about to ask you that.
Because there is two.
There is two.
The BT9, which is the red-green, which in a following video, you get to see my green Gotcha X antibody deck. That one's really good, but I also really like the BT7 Dino Rexmon.
Okay, so humor me for 1 sec.
Yes.
If you could only pick one, which one would you pick?
That's tough, man. I mean, I run more of the...
Right?
I run more of the BT9.
Yeah.
But I really like the BT7 because it does do that Samadhi Santi kind of thing where it's just like it controls the board. Very, very strong. They're both great cards. I ran into it where I really like the BT9 one because it does have the red in it. It also stops the Rookie Rush. It stops you from swinging. It's kind of like a weird Mechanorimon, gains memory when it digivolves kind of thing. So it looks steep at the beginning. Yeah. And I fell in love with that card at pre-release. I remember that was a very good card at pre-release.
It was
pre-release
really cool.
Is always very Rookie Rush heavy. And that card prevents at least like the first swing on your opponent's turn every single time.
Yeah.
And if they want to try and block with a small body, it prevents that. Like it can literally kill a Mechanorimon just for blocking, which is really good. So that card's really good, but I like the BT7 one a lot too, because the BT7 one, when digivolving, suspends an opponent's Digimon and it doesn't unsuspend. That came in handy for me tonight against like Examon stuff. Really good, where it's just like a lot of these big decks rely on their Digimon unsuspending, resuspending and stuff, but it's like if they start their turn suspended and they can't unsuspend, then they can't do a lot, like especially level 7s. Like, what are you going to put on top of a lot of level 7s?
Yeah.
Nothing. So if you can prevent your opponent's level 7 from doing its thing, which usually like a lot of level 7s, when they swing, they do their thing.
Yeah.
But if they can't swing and do their thing, then it's a null effect. So you get an extra turn to go into that Castermon or the Valderarm or the Merciful mode on top of it.
Yeah.
And do your thing before it does their thing. Like, I really like the Dino Rexes. And they're both X antibodies.
Yeah.
Even the BT7 one was an X antibody.
Yeah.
3 sets before we had the X antibody option, they gave us an X antibody Digimon to play with. And now you can utilize that option to swing with a level 5 Digivolve into that Dino Rexmon from 3 sets ago and activate that when Digivolving effect. It's a lot of fun. So I'm all in on dinos. I'm a dino man tonight.
Are you a Geen player now?
No.
I have to know.
I'm not a Geen player.
You've been playing so much green lately.
I'm not a Geen player. I mean, I might be, but tonight I was a Geen player.
Tonight you were.
And I had a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. There was a lot of Geen players tonight.
It was, yeah. Well, I mean, Hydramon, Bloom Lord is still going to be very popular. Grandis is going to be very popular, which is great. It's good that
Grandis is in that deck that I played tonight. So,
yes. It's good to have a lot of representation in different colors for sure.
Yes. Okay. So that is my Geenness.
So much like last week, where I feel like I don't want to say I'm at a quiet period or a lull, because it's not at all the term I'm looking for with Digimon. It's more like I'm kind of, in that deck crafting theory type mode right now, right?
Yeah, and we're in between sets.
Yeah, we're in between sets, so we're having a lot of time to build things, and we're talking about, that White Omni tournament in Mox Valley Games, Springfield, Oregon, February the 19th, right? Another shameless plug there. And so I'm thinking a lot about Black War Gray, right? Yeah. And I'm thinking about the tamers that you use in Black War Gray. And I'm thinking specifically about one of our very early videos and on our channel, the Galmon deck. And I was also thinking about my Raidenmon list that was more of a stack deck. And my particular card of the week is the Black Tamer from BT9, Maki Himikawa. I'm horrible at pronouncing names. Forgive me. Japanese is not my language. So my wife's half Japanese, so she might, I might come home and hear it from her later tonight. But so it's on play reveal, the top 3 cards, add it to Pyramon, and then you can also grab a 2-color black card. And then your turn, when one of your Digimon digivolve into a Digimon with 2 colors, as long as it has black, reduce the cost by 1. So for the Black War Great deck, it makes so much sense, right? You got a lot of strength, you got a lot of versatility, it's great search. It's really only, a 3-cost tamer, it's black, so then you have Grumblemon access when you need it. It's not like a Cool Boy where there's not a hybrid for it, right? So it's one of those tamers that I haven't quite figured out how to build Black War Gray, but I've had so much success with this particular tamer in previous decks, and it is like, for example, Chosen Ones, like that's the first Chosen One tamer of the deck that I built, right? So it is a great tamer, and I'm very curious what you guys think in the comments. For Black War Gray, what tamers you're playing now. For Black War Gray X, what tamers you're going to be playing, right? Because obviously there's that new tamer specifically. I'm horrible on the name. I'm blanking it right now. For that deck, so how much Maki is going to be played. But and I remember when I was building those decks, I really wanted to highlight Maki, but I didn't get the opportunity to, so I'm going to take full advantage now.
Yeah.
That's my card of the week.
It's a good choice. Especially moving forward, it's a future-proofed card.
Future-proofed card, yes, indeed.
For the next set. I mean, that is... I can't wait to see what you build for Black War Gray, because I know it's not going to be like anybody else's meta Black War Gray. I hope it disrupts it when we get to that.
I'm definitely going to try. It's going to be hard, though.
Yeah, we have about 5 weeks to test. So
yes,
I know we talked about this. Like we had our reunion tonight with everyone that hasn't been there for the holidays and stuff like that. So we kind of did like the decks that we've been playing and testing and our fun stuff, like my green, and you did yours. And but from here on out, I think we're going to be grinding pretty hard, getting ready for this tournament, because it's serious business. I know you're going to go Black War Gray, and
that's what I'm saying now. But things I've done dumber things in life where where I changed the night before into something because it just feels good, So
no, part of me play to win.
Oh, I mean,
playing for the brand.
Of course. When I say dumb, I mean like I spent 5 weeks practicing one deck, and then the day before I changed to something else. So I don't know. Who knows? I might come up with some rookie rush color combination that I haven't played yet.
Don't do it.
It's a big tournament, man. Like
a big tournament, and I'm gonna show up, and I'm gonna disrupt. I'm gonna be there with Machine.
I'm just an aggro player, and Rookie Rush is my style, and like I love the Crossheart deck. Like I know it's bad to say that. I know it's like, you know what I'm saying. Like that was so geared towards my style. I might try to do Crossheart again in BT11, right? To bring that down there with the new Cross 3. So who knows what I'll end up doing? Tons of time to test. We'll see.
Well, are you going to show up with Jellymon stuff?
No,
speaking
of Jellymon stuff.
You're not.
Speaking of Jellymon stuff.
It's here.
It's here. We got it in the reprint set.
Yeah.
We got the reveal of the Jellymon line, right?
We have another Kyo. We have the whole line, right?
Yeah, so for those of you who don't like spoilers on Digimon Ghost Game, don't look at these card reveals, because you'll know what the Mega looks like when you enter Digivolves without seeing the series, right? No, it's really cool that this whole reprint set, I think Digimon, obviously Bandai and Cardass is, subscribed to our channel and watching every episode and every minute of us talking, as my joke that never gets old on every episode. But like, I talk a lot about Ghost Game and how if that's their main series that they're doing right now, do the right thing and like really push the living crap out of those Digimon lines. And they're doing that with the Jellymon line, right? And it's so funny that Jellymon I almost want to say it has more popularity than the Gammamon stuff.
I feel like it does.
Because like there are so many people that are always talking about Jellymon decks that are so excited to play those. Or, not only that, like that Jellymon is a little bit more universal than the Gammamons are in other decks too, right?
The level 3.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to say that about Hero. I'll say Hero is used more than Jellymon.
That's true.
Right?
That's true.
But when you're talking about Jellymon to Gammamon to Angoramon, definitely Jellymon's used a little bit more.
I feel like Hero's used almost as much as Kyo.
Yeah, but
Kyo's pretty universal. It's good in Machine.
Of course, it's universal. It's good in Beelstar. It's good in that stuff. But Hero's so good when you just need DP.
Yeah.
Like you could almost argue putting Hero in like OTK style decks, or if I just had a little bit more DP, blah blah blah, but it doesn't make sense. So, I'm really happy that Digimon is doing this, and they're like putting out these sets. You know, they're giving us these cool cards, and not only is this reprint set just reprints full of of old cards, it does have these new lines, which is promising because it's not going to be a set that we're not getting. Like, we are going to get this set, I'm pretty sure. You know, like,
we have to.
We have to.
Too many proprietary cards.
You know, it's not like there's just one Digimon line that we'd have to somehow scrounge up later. No. There's whole new styles. There's new deck archetypes basically in this set. So, and then also it's the year of the rabbit. So we got the Angoro stuff.
Rabbits. Yeah.
And you know, I want to take advantage of my platform that I've kind of given myself to ask a question about an errata. So there's a promo Angoromon and a promo Ruli or Ruri, depending on what the card says, right? So there's two different cards, and I'm blanking on which one it is off the top of my head. But one says Ruri, like R-U-R-I, and one says Ruli, like R-U-L-I. And I know, like, for those of you that do speak Japanese, that know the language, that L-R sound is very similar, right? And like probably the character for it is universal, and how they pronounce it, you know, but it's just how it's translated. So there is one of those cards that says it with the R-U-R-I and one that says with the R-U-L-I. So we technically don't have an official errata on the Angoromon line.
Yet. Yep.
Right? So technically, if someone at Locals is playing that and you're like, well, that says Ruri, that doesn't say Ruli, besides being an asshole about it, right? Like, you know, but you know, maybe it's about time Bandai does give us an official errata, because by the time the set comes out and you do want to play some of that older stuff, it could very well matter. But I'm very excited to get these lines. I'm very excited to get, you know, some more support for all of these decks and archetypes. That's just what I love about Digimon, man. I mean, is it safe to say Digimon is the best tribal game of any card game?
I think so, honestly.
Right? Like, I mean, yes, Magic, like, everybody wants to build slivers. Everybody loves elves. Everybody who loves zombies. But there's always cards that are like, you play this because it's good in the deck. That's not a tribal.
Yeah, it doesn't mean that it existed from the card that it came from.
Yeah, like Digimon's really done the best job of, like, for your War Grey deck, you're going to play these Agumons not only because, you know, they're great searchers, great DP boosts, but it follows your lore too, and you're going to play the Koromon egg. You know what I'm saying?
They put their best foot forward to make sure that, like, if you're going to pick a smaller card to go in front of the bigger card, that it is in that lore line.
Yeah. And, you know, obviously Digimon since the very beginning, when you're talking about your little V-Pet Tamagotchi, or you're talking about Digimon World 1, like, there was never a perfect linear line, right? Like, Digimon's never had to have been perfect like that. But Digimon's got to be the best tribal game. I mean, I'm sorry, like, you know, here's my foot.
It's the most true to its lore.
Because, like, even in Pokemon decks, like, you know, whatever Pokemon deck you're going to play, like, there's just cards that you just have to use in every deck. Like, it's been a little bit since I played Pokemon, right? But, like, the Radiant Greninja, for example, right? You know, let's say you were not a water-type gym leader. You know, you're still playing that in your deck. You know what I'm saying? So it's just funny how that there's examples. But I love that Digimon is just so committed to tribal without overextending or without trying
to the point where you have to do it if you want to.
Yeah,
for sure. So we had those cards. We had the new cards. So they also showed us a couple of other cards. I mean, there's been a bunch of cards. We're just going to touch on a couple of them. The one that popped out at me was Blinding Ray.
Yeah, and you're interesting why this popped out. Caught me off guard, like not in a bad way, right?
Yeah,
like
I talked about it because I think it came out today, like at Locals. We got the reveal for it, and my biggest thing was they revealed that we're gonna get a reprint for Blinding Ray, which I don't think we've seen in a deck for a while.
No, not
a lot of the stuff that they've shown us for the reprint set are all like big bangers, stuff that we've seen over and over again. Like they gave us the Lady Dev and the Angemon or Angewomon, stuff like that. Stuff that you see a lot, right?
Yeah.
But then they give us this Blinding Ray, and I feel like it's interesting for me because we haven't seen an option with a null security effect since BT4. So it's been over a year.
Yeah, you said that. And I was like...
And he had to double check it. He did the research. Way. Yeah.
You know, I was like, there's got to be another option that has no security effect, right? You know, since after BT4.
Yep.
No, you're totally right.
Yeah.
That there has not been an option since set 4 that just don't do anything in security. We're talking about I think there's like a little dash.
Yeah, it has like
a
two
little
little dashes.
It's like, you know, just like, and it's the worst feeling when that's the card that gets hit in security. And it's so funny that you mentioned this because I remember at the start of BT10, when Crossheart was getting all that popularity, what was a fun card they started to put in those decks from set 1? Gravity Crush.
Oh, yeah.
Right? People were talking about Gravity Crush and how it had no security effect. Like blue and purple as of right now, technically white with the X antibody option, right? Blue, purple, and white are the only cards that actually gain memory on your opponent's turn when they're hitting security.
Yeah.
There's none of that for red, none of that for yellow, none of that for green. None of that for black either, you know, and I could be mistaken. I've said dumber things on this channel for sure.
Black would be Izzy, maybe.
Oh, yeah. You're like, but no option, right?
Yeah.
Right?
No, I got you.
Yeah. And the fact that it has nothing, like, why can't it just have a gain 2 memory?
Or go to hand.
Or even go to hand. That's even a perfect example. It's like why does Blinding Ray just hit and then go to trash?
Yeah.
You know, Gravity Crush, hit, go to trash.
I remember looking at that when I was building my security Digimon deck because I love code cracking. I think code cracking...
Oh, that's such a cool concept.
It is such a freaking cool card where you're like, I'm going to play this for 4. You choose. Do you lose the security or do I get one?
Yeah, adds that mind game that you're already building.
But the fact that it has a null effect in security... It ruins the entire card, and it's such a fun card.
They gave Tactical Retreat recovery +1, but not code cracking.
Yeah.
You know,
even if code cracking went to hand, I would be like, I would play it 100%. I would play it.
That's the difference.
Because it only costs 4 for recovery, especially with the Mimis.
Yeah,
that make it cheaper. Like, great card. But the fact that if you hit it in security, it does nothing.
You know what card I hate that has the add to hand?
What?
Hell's Gate.
Oh, I know you don't. Yeah, I love that
want to love the
cheapest way to kill a death
I love Hell's Gate. Don't get me wrong, but I hate when it's in security because it always hits at the wrong time.
Yeah,
when you need to delete another body so you can survive a turn or you can just disrupt your opponent or whatever, and it's like add to hand, and it's like I get it, like. Obviously,
it's better than a null effect, though.
It's much better than a null effect for sure.
Like I'll kill you on the next.
You know, like Back for Revenge is a purple card from BT3 that has no effect.
Yeah.
So it's definitely an interesting point that they're giving that in the reprint set. We're talking like early stuff.
But if they do a rotation, so far that will be the only card in the first rotation.
And I know we talked about rotation last week, but I've been thinking about this a lot, and I really don't think they're going to do a rotation. And I think that the game is just naturally going to have a power creep, right? Where you're just not going to be playing older stuff, and they're not, and ban lists, right? And restricted lists. Like the game is just naturally going to move on. I don't think there's going to be a rotation personally.
Okay.
But I'm not an expert. I don't have a crystal ball.
You don't?
No.
There's that one over there? Okay.
Yeah. I'll talk to the studio guys.
Well, that's it, guys. I am super excited for this reprint set, even though we're not going to see it until the summer. So until the sun comes out and everything warms up and everything grows outside, we're not going to see it for a while. So we can talk about it until the cows come home. But what I'm excited about is the next set, which is still 5 weeks away. So we have tons of time to practice.
BT11.
And we have a lot more of these podcasts to do. So I'm very excited. If you guys enjoyed our gameplay video, I did. It was a lot of fun.
Blast.
We have updated, optimized. We're kind of changing the way the format works. We're growing this channel one viewer at a time. In the fact that we add these new formats, these new videos, but we're also taking a lot of your advice.
Yeah.
So we kind of reformatted the gameplay video, the one that we filmed today, made it a little bit bigger. We're changing things. So please make sure you comment and give us your advice on our videos. We take everything to heart, and we only want to make better content for you guys because we just want to. We're dedicated to making good content for you guys. So we had another great gameplay video today.
We did. I'm very excited about that one.
The best part is like we don't script these.
No.
And they end up going like tooth and nail, just like our normal gameplay.
Yeah, game 3, and it's just like, you couldn't ask for a better thing to be filmed on camera.
Yes, we loved it.
Like that's how today. I think this was going to be our best gameplay video yet for sure.
Yeah, it showed what both decks do.
Yes,
we didn't program anything. There's no editing. It's just like it is what it is. We just fought it out. So I think that is going to be the format moving forward. It's only going to get a little bit better. I've added some more effects and stuff like that. Like it's a little bit more in post to make it more fun for you guys. But
the hard stuff.
Everyone's always asking, like, I want to see you and Jeff play each other. So we're gonna provide that for you guys.
Yeah.
With that being said, we have another locals next week.
We do. I gotta figure out what I'm gonna play next week now.
Black or Gray.
I only got 6 more days.
Black or Gray.
I was kind of thinking about trying something else, but you're right.
I'm done playing fun stuff other than the deck that I can
now
be
it's all
competitive
BT11
with.
prep.
I'm going hard in the paint with Machinery on until the event at Mox Valley Games in Springfield, Oregon.
February 19th.
Yes.
12:30.
12:30. Look at that. He remembers. No graphics or anything.
No scripts in front of me either.
But yeah, once again, please, we looked at the analytics. Like, comment, subscribe. Over half of you that watch these videos aren't subscribed to the channel. So just click that button for us. It helps us out a lot. And we'll catch you next time. Thanks for watching.